he's going to bring up the fact, hey, they won a Super Bowl with that formula. I think they believe in the formula. Address the defensive line first round. Of course, you would get a quarterback in the first round. You could get a defensive back. But the guys that affect the passing game, I think that's the way they look at it. The guys that affect the passing game, we draft the first round. They don't have a major effect on that passing game. We won't draft them in the first round.
Let's bring my friend in, Garry Cobb, man. I'm sure he's a big soccer fan. I can tell. Hey, Garry.
I never was able to get into the soccer, man. As much as it's, I know people that have gotten into it, but I haven't been able to make the move yet, You
say that with a lot of conviction, Garry.
Hey.
Yeah.
Just haven't been able to do it. I just don't see it.
I don't need. Hey, they keep telling me it's the number one sport in the world. I'm like, yeah, man. I guess. Okay, man. But when you do this to a player, and the guy gets off,
I know.
The flopping. I don't know. All right, Garry. Listen, I put a mock draft together, and I know what you're going to say probably after I'm done giving you these names. Because there's one glaring thing here. So 15, I went through all 32, by the way, and I do think that kid Evan Neal from Alabama is going to go number 1 to Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
But at 15, I got Trent McDuffie from Washington. He's a cornerback. At 16, I had the kid Devin Lloyd.
Okay.
6'3", 235. He's an edge rusher, could play in the 43 and 34.
Yeah.
And at 19, I had Trayvon Walker, defensive lineman, great pass rusher, 6'5", 275. If you notice what I did here was, I don't know what these guys are going to look like when they make it or if they do make it in the National Football League, but how I always put a draft together by what a team's needs are. Mm-hmm. And cornerback, linebacker, and pass rusher, to me, that's why I went with those 3 guys. The only issue is they're all 3 defensive guys. And with how we do that, plus there's a linebacker in there.
I think the linebacker position, especially a guy with speed that's able to be one of the special players, you see the marquee teams, they've got that linebacker who is, he's a freak. He's a guy who can run a 4-3, 4-4. He can run with wide receivers if necessary. And, you got that guy there in the middle because everybody's going to be throwing the ball. You can't put, you need a standout linebacker. You definitely do, I think. But I don't know that they're going to change because they won a championship with their formula. And I don't think that anybody's going to be able to convince them that they need to draft a first-round linebacker. I think
but they didn't win the Super Bowl running the ball. They won the Super Bowl throwing the ball down the field.
Yes.
Off of play action.
Uh-huh.
Am I wrong or right when I say that?
Yeah, they did. That's the way they won the Super Bowl. Yep.
But the team right now that they have is not constructed that way, Garry.
No, it's not. But that's why really I don't think they're in love with it. Because They won the Super Bowl throwing the ball, and I think they believe after looking at the NFL, knowing that they love the quarterback position, and I think rightfully so. But I think that they really want to be a team that wins games throwing the ball. I think they want to be that way. I don't know that they feel they can change right now. Because you gotta do what you can do with what you got right now. So, but I think that definitely they're gonna get a pass rusher without a doubt. One of those picks is gonna be an edge rusher because they need it, and I think they believe in that. They believe you address your lines with those top picks. So I expect a pass rusher, maybe a corner, somebody that's elite. Maybe they get a corner. Or they get 2 pass rushers, I think they're going to address the defensive line. I don't think they're going to draft a linebacker because this is what they believe. This is their this is the way they believe. This is their formula. They won a Super Bowl. They believe that you win a formula where you got to have those guys up front. I mean, I agree with them for the most part, but I think right now, hey, you got to have a linebacker who's an elite player who can run. You got to have that guy, or they're going to be like the guys we got in there now. I mean, you got nothing special.
How about this, Gary? I mean, the reason I say Devin Lloyd, is because he kind of knocks down more things than some of the things that you just said.
I know.
He's a guy that you could put in a 4-3-3-4, put his hand down.
Yeah.
He can rush the edge. He can cover tight ends.
Yeah.
And he can play the run. So he's not just a linebacker who's going to sit in the middle there. He's a guy who's also going to be productive in the kind of schemes that Jonathan Gannon wants to run. So he's not like, Gary, when you and I came out, this guy's a nose. This guy's a DE. He's a DT.
Yeah.
He's an ILB. This guy's an OLB. This guy's strong side. This guy's weak.
Now I tell you,
it's not like that anymore, is it?
I know. Now, Devin Lloyd where they look at him and they say that, because they're thinking about Micah Parsons. That's what what the league is. They're affected by somebody. What's happening now? They say, oh man, we could have Micah Parsons last year. They're sitting there beating himself up the whole offseason. We could have had that guy. We could have had him. So if they see the comparison, they like it, then that could move him up. But I don't know if I see the Eagles getting him though. Because they got their formula. Their formula is no linebackers in the first round. That's their formula. And I don't think they're going to change it, because I can tell by when they ask the question, it's all over here, he don't really answer the question. He's talking about everything, but he's going to bring up the fact, hey, they won a Super Bowl with that formula. I think they believe in the formula. Address the defensive line first round. Of course, you would get a quarterback in the first round. You could get a defensive back. But the guys that affect the passing game, I think that's the way they look at it. The guys that affect the passing game, we draft the first round. They don't have a major effect on that passing game. We won't draft them in the first round.
Gary, do you think that the Eagles will be players in free agency? They're going to have nearly $30 million in cap space for them to be able to at least take a look at some of the guys that are out there.
I think they're going to get a wide receiver. I could see them getting a veteran wide receiver. I think that's what they're going to do, because they could use one. And then, I know some people have them drafting another wide receiver. I just think that if they draft another wide receiver, you've invested too much in that position. You didn't get out of it because you messed up on a couple of the picks.
And I don't think you can build a team from the perimeter in.
You're right.
You got to build it from the inside out.
I think so. And, I agree with them when they talk about there's nothing affects the a defense like a pass rusher. Come on. He already immediately, a pass rusher makes your DBs better. Immediately, because the quarterback knows this guy's coming. And you got a guy, he might not even get there, but he's in that quarterback's head. He's getting that ball out of there because he saw the tape. I don't know if we can block this guy. He's trying to get that ball out of there, and the quarterback could make mistakes. He throws the ball too soon. He forces the ball somewhere because of that pressure. So a guy that's a pass rushers affect the game. You want to affect the quarterback. It's about the passing game. That's where the league is right now. I think you do have a few teams like the Eagles who are the strength of their game is running. But the league is a passing league. That's what it is right now.
Gary, I want to go into the NFC East now, and I want to look at some of the teams that the Eagles are going to be going against when it comes to free agency and when it comes also to the upcoming draft. I was talking to Barrett Brooks this morning, and he and I were going back. I think Washington's close. Watch this. Garoppolo's going to command $35 million on the open market. Here's why. He's 5-2 in the postseason. He's 36-16 as a starting quarterback. And to the strength of that record, even more so, when he's not playing at San Fran and he's not starting, which injuries have been an issue, obviously, for him. Yeah. But when he's not, they're 8-22. So he is completely the factor why they've been to 2 NFC championship games in 3 years. On top of that 5-2 record, right. The majority of those wins are against Aaron Rodgers. And I said this, Kyle Hamilton, the Notre Dame safety, you put him on that defense, plus you get Chase Young back, plus you have Jonathan Allen, and you have Garoppolo on that side of the ball, Washington can win the NFC East. Am I wrong?
I agree. I mean, if they get good play out of their quarterback position, they got weapons. I mean, they got weapons that really, I think, have been underutilized because they really haven't had outstanding play from the quarterback position, and they got defensive players. I mean, the defense got them to the playoffs a couple years ago. So I think that they could be a team that definitely they're going to be in the hunt if they get decent quarterback play. So I definitely think they're going to be there. Washington has got a lot of good football players, and and I like the coach too. So
and he's a defensive-minded guy. That's why
defensive-minded coach is right. Yeah,
this kid Kyle Hamilton. I want to take you over to the Giants. You and I grew up in that area, and it's a giant country, and where we grew up as kids. Yeah, and I've never seen the Giants this bad on both O-line and D-line. And now I went into the draft and I said they're going to address both the defense and offensive lines in this upcoming draft. They'll probably also address it in free agency here. Has it really been just the fact that Jerry Reese is not the general manager there? Because, he wins 2 Super Bowls there. He has that team constantly winning. I know Tom Coughlin played a factor here. Barrett Brooks brought this up again earlier with me as well. Ever since they've not got the general managers right, and they've not gotten the offensive line right. He had 5 years to get one guy out of the 5, and I know it's difficult to build these O-line. And on top of that, Brian Daboll now has to come down from Buffalo to try to resurrect Daniel Jones' career. The Giants are at least 10 years away from competing for a Super Bowl.
The thing is, and that's where, really when you talk about the Eagles, you could say a lot of things, but they're right when you told you build up front first.
Yeah.
If you don't have it up there, man, doesn't matter who you have back there.
Would you agree that's been the strength of Howie, that he's really started from up front? Yep. But your only maybe criticism is that he goes too much outside after he goes O-line wide out, right?
Yeah. He has, and the thing is that, they missed on the wideouts. The thing is they missed badly with the, an option. There's a player right there. They don't get the player. They get the guy that can't play. Come on. You can't miss that badly, especially the way they did it, where that didn't even make sense. It didn't make sense. So anyway, but they have been right about you build up front. If you don't have those horses up front, you don't have a chance. And so the Giants have been horrible with that. It's amazing how they missed.
I look at Saquon Barkley. I look at Saquon Barkley and I go like this, Gary. He's always hurt. There's no O-line. Yeah. I don't know. Right?
That's what's been there, and it's been bad. It's like when he touches the ball, you got 3 guys on him. Why bother? And this shows how bad it is. If you don't have a line, what good is a running back?
Right.
It does you no good. Your quarterback is spoofed because he's running for his life all the time. It doesn't make sense if you're going to miss up there. And if you don't get the picks right, then what you do is you pick people other people's people. You get people that are established. If you're missing the draft picks, you go get guys that can play, that have already proven Gary, they can play.
I tell folks this, and I think everybody's under the assumption that the other teams hit. And I'm just going to take the number 10 here. I know we have 11 picks. I know there's 3 in the first. I get all that. Yeah. But I've been telling people 7 of those guys are going to fail. 7 of those 10 picks, because it's a 30% success rate. So you're talking 7 guys And get this, you may hit on a 5th rounder. Like you hit, here's a perfect example.
Yeah,
you may hit on Jordan Mailata in the 7th, but you may not hit on this Whiteside kid, who's a premium pick.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how look at you, man.
Yeah.
An 11th round draft choice, and you played 12 plus years in the National Football League. Dude, if you have to redraft that, you're a top 10, you're a top 1st round pick because you played 12 years. Nobody plays 12 years. That's an 11th round pick.
Look at Jason Kelsey. 6th round pick. This kid he's probably going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You got him in the 6th round. So I think with the picks, and I was talking to somebody else about this. In fact, we're out at the Super Bowl talking about this. The draft picks thing, in some ways, you might as well throw it out because times you're drafting guys and your later picks are outplaying your number 1 pick, your 2nd round pick. So
look what Kirk Cousins did to RG3. He was a 4th rounder.
That's right.
And look at all the draft assets that Washington and St. Louis exchanged between each other.
That's right.
And the guy Cousins is still playing.
I mean, think about how many 1st round quarterbacks are bust.
Oh, tons.
Tons of them. The majority of them, like you said, 7 out of 10 have been bust. Even though you got them in the 1st round and they've been bust, and you have a few that that live up to it, but most of them don't. So I think that, boy, that says a lot, man. You know,
because only 30% are going to make it on any given draft. Gary, this may be a little bit kind of technical for the people that are listening and watching now, but I want to ask you this here. The personnel that Jonathan Gannon has on the defense is best suited for what right now? 4-3 or 3-4?
The personnel, well, I guess in some ways, I think they're a 4-3. They're definitely not a 3-4 because they don't have enough linebackers, That's the thing. They just do not have the linebackers. And, you just don't have the elite linebackers.
But they don't have the elite pass rushers for a 4-3.
They really don't. They just don't. That's why they got to draft.
That's why I'm asking you here, because I'm trying to figure out if the strength of the defense is the line, really, you're 31st in sacks. And like you say, you got to cover and you got to get the quarterback on the ground.
That's right.
Those are the 2 positions that the Eagles have to have. You have to have quarterback play and you have to have edge rushers if you're going to make it in the NFL. And so when people go, Dan, the D-line's their strength, I'm like, really? Their D-line's their strength? Well, then they should be playing a 4-3. Yeah. Well, if they're playing a 4-3, you got to be in the top 15 at least in sacks, and they're 31st in sacks.
I know that, and they're just not getting it done. They just really disappointed. I was really disappointed with that line because I expected them to come out, but they've shown they got to make changes. And you're gonna have to say goodbye to some people. They're pretty much probably gonna say goodbye to Barnett. He's gone. Brandon Graham, I don't think you can really say and be sure that. What is he gonna give you coming back? He's getting up there. You got a serious injury to your legs. That's what usually gets people out of the league. So you don't have that explosion coming off the corner. So they got to. If they use 2 picks for pass rushers, I don't think that would surprise me at all because you got to get people getting to the quarterback. That's what this game is about. And if you draft 2, you're probably gonna miss on one of them. So you might draft 2 pass rushers because you got to get somebody getting to the passer unless you got a marquee corner that they see that they are enthused about. I don't know that they're going to use all 3 picks. The way Howie does, he's going to try to move up or something. Maybe they see somebody that they would like to move up, so they use one of the picks, use 2 of them to move up. They end up getting, get 2 picks, but they get the guy thereafter. But, you almost want to use all your picks because you're going to miss on so many of them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One last question for you. Mm-hmm. I don't know. How involved is the owner on draft day? Is Is he in there just for cosmetics when it comes to the
I
look?
think he's in there for cosmetics.
Does he actually does he stick his nose in?
I think he gives his input, during the whole process. I think he gives his input then during the process because he goes to some of the workouts and he's there checking some things out. And I think that he gives his, that input. And I think he believes in what they said, which is, your quarterback, and you want to get those pass rushers and everything. I think he's probably there emphasizing some of those, that formula they believe in.
Finally here, I got to leave you with this. Joel Embiid and James Harden. It's the best duo. Tell me if you agree or disagree. How about this? I say it's the best duo since Dr. J and Moses Malone.
I think so. And, it's just seeing them play together where they immediately just have a flow to what they're doing. They make it look so easy. I think everybody knows, hey, they got a shot at doing something, man. They got, and when you get a shot, man, you got to take advantage of opportunity, sharpen every knife. You got to get everything right. They got to get it done. I mean, because they're standing there looking right at them, but they definitely got a shot at it. And because all the guys haven't really played well, but they can carry you. So you got two guys that can carry you. Well, if something happens with one guy, whatever, they go, look, I got you guys this game. I'm going to take us over on this game. They got guys that can carry, and, you talking about 7-game series. I like their chances against anybody, man.
Yeah, so do I. Gary, appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much, as always.
All righty.
Got it, man. That's my friend Garry Cobb from Fox 29. Hit the like button. Hey, man, what do you mean no love for Mutombo Iverson? They didn't deliver the goods. They didn't get the chip. Dr. J. Malone delivered the chip, man. What do you think this show is? Celebrating second place? We don't celebrate second place here on the Big Sil Show / National Football Shows. Hit the like button. Keep it right here on the National Football Show.